All right, welcome back everybody to the National Lunch and Learn League with Annie Mac Home Mortgage. If everything worked out perfectly, you all have enjoyed a nice lunch with an Annie Mac mortgage professional. You're probably sitting in a real estate brokerage, maybe you're sitting in a restaurant, and it's such a neat concept that Annie Mac has developed to bring like-minded professionals together. Get us all together in a room and let's talk about some things that can make us more money. Let's talk about some things that can become important to your real estate career. I want to make a special thank you to the mortgage professional in your room today for bringing you all together and to visit with you for a very important topic. Serving American veterans. You know, honorably discharged American veterans. Some of them fought in foreign war. Some of the veterans served during peacetime. Others came back with PTSD or were severely injured. And the American government has decided to honor those veterans with special privileges and benefits called the VA. The VA serves on so many fronts, but one of the most important benefits that we get to talk to you today about is the serious opportunity for VA mortgage benefits. This is an important topic for me personally, and I hope that you have been touched by an American veteran the way that I have. My father is a veteran of the Navy. My father-in-law is a veteran of the Army. My brother is a deceased Marine. And my nephew is an honorably discharged Marine who's now a police officer in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. So this touches me on a personal level. And if you think about no down payment mortgages, you might go, oh, that's not that big of a benefit. But if you think about no mortgage insurance, you don't have that extra $150 a month tacked on to your mortgage payment to make the necessary insurance that you'll pay your loan. An American veteran deserves the benefit of no down payment mortgages, free from any mortgage insurance whatsoever, and they also deserve the honor, the respect, the gratitude from our federal government and from our real estate professionals to extend those benefits and interpret those benefits in a way that they can understand and put good use to. So I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why you can take a closer look at the VA opportunity. And then we're going to meet some people today that specialize in the veterans lending, but also specialize in servicing the American veterans. So let's take a moment now and rehash some of the benefits. And then I'm going to introduce you to a local chapter president of VARAP and also a person who runs a nonprofit that has built an entire real estate career around serving America's most respected public servants and heroes and veterans. So my name is Russ Fitzpatrick. I'm one of the lucky founders of the Annie Mac Worx productivity platform. I have an opportunity to share with you some interesting perspective. I was a RE/MAX agent for a number of years, and I ran my own brokerage for a decade and a half, as many of you know. And what I noticed is when I did a mortgage application for a VA loan, sometimes it was a problem. Sometimes we ran into extended delays. Sometimes the mortgage banker didn't really understand all of the intricate details of the VA lending opportunity. Well, I'm so proud to tell you that Annie Mac Home Mortgage has made an enormous commitment to the veterans of the United States Armed Services. Annie Mac Home Mortgage is what they call a direct endorsed VA lender. That means that they don't have to take the application and then send it to somewhere else to get it approved. That we underwrite, AnnieMac Home Mortgage underwrites their VA lending directly in-house. They're direct endorsed VA lender. This is huge. That means that they've taken the time to understand the intricacies of VA lending in a very, very meaningful way. I also want to tell you how proud I am of how many veterans AnnieMac Home Mortgage employs right there in their headquarters in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and across the AnnieMac nation with, I think, 60 branches in 32 different states. All over the country, we have veterans that work for AnnieMac Home Mortgage on the originator front. We have veterans that work for AnnieMac Home Mortgage on the administrative front, in operations, in underwriting specifically, and in running some of our branches. So just a across-the-board commitment to the veterans lending opportunity and respecting America's most respected public servants and American veterans. So I mentioned I'm one of the lucky founders of the AnnieMac Worx productivity platform, and it's my pleasure, it's my privilege to introduce you to some of the opportunities in VA lending. The first one we touched on was this nonsense that VA lending has to be complicated or it has to be difficult. I'm going to give you 2 questions to ask your consumer that will streamline everything to do with VA lending inside of AnnieMac Home Mortgage. The first lesson you need to take away from today's event is ask your consumer if they're a veteran. It sounds simple, but how many times have you ever taken a call or visited with someone during an open house or taken an internet inquiry and you're bouncing back and forth ideas about their upcoming move, but you fail to ever ask them if they're a veteran or if they enjoy VA mortgage benefits? This is a huge window of opportunity for you to differentiate yourself in their hearts and minds, because when that consumer says, yes, my husband is a veteran, or yes, I am a veteran, this creates a whole new arena of conversations that you have. And then I want you to write down the code DD214. DD214. And the conversation as a residential real estate professional should go something like this. Are you an American veteran? Are you a veteran? Do you have your VA benefits? Do you happen to have access to your DD214? This is the discharge documents that specifically outline the benefits. So all you would have to do is to take that DD214 and bring it to your mortgage professional, and they can turn it in to our VA lending department and analyze all of the benefits that are available to that particular American veteran. These 2 simple questions, are you a veteran and do you have your DD214, could literally transform your level of expertise, because all you would have to do is take that document to an AnnieMac Home Mortgage professional, and they'll do all the work for you. We have absolutely streamlined our VA lending opportunity to make you the expert. That's what we want to do. We want to make you the expert. Now, in this special lunch and learn environment, we're here to open up new opportunities, new possibilities for you to grow your production, to grow your income. And that's really our intention, to grow your production and grow your income. And one of the ways that we can do that is by expanding your perspective about residential real estate as a career. Now, I can probably rattle off about 15 names of residential real estate professionals nationwide that specialize in the veteran sector. Man, you want to differentiate yourself in the world of residential real estate, serve someone with a level of expertise and care that really touches them in a special way. It doesn't matter if your specialty is going to be multifamily residential rental real estate. Serve those landlords, those investors in a special way that shows your care and shows your expertise in that sector, and you're going to stand out from the crowd. If you're going to specialize in a particular subdivision, which I met a beautiful realtor at the Gloucester Board of Realty this past month when we did a staging event there, Gloucester-Salem Board of Real Estate in South Central New Jersey. We did an event, and I met an enormously successful residential real estate. We wrapped up our event, and she was explaining her passion and conviction for her specialty in a particular subdivision. She knew every model. She knew every school information. She knew all the information. She had taken all of the lessons that you could learn in Farming Fridays, and she applied those specific lessons of specialization and expertise in that particular subdivision. And I think she spent the last 5 or 6 years just working mainly that geographic farm area. The area of specialization is what we're talking about here with VA. We want to encourage you to become a VA specialist. Begin to ask that question, are you an American veteran? Begin to ask that question, do you have your DD-214? Begin to understand VA benefits and what your max allowable loans are for your county, and understand what you can do to really serve the public. What if you went and visited the American Legion? What if you went and visited the Veterans of Foreign War chapter in your local market? But instead of going in there to solicit and to expect a deal, what if you went there to network and meet the leaders of the American Legion in your local market? Or you went to meet the VFW chapter president for your local market? What if you started to show up as a person who had expertise and a particular sense of empathy and caring for the veterans of your local market? Do you think that there's a chance that your income and your production would start to escalate as a direct result of that specialization? I think that it would. And I want to encourage you to listen to these next 2 presenters that we're going to introduce to you and to hear their story. I asked them to tell their personal story, because like many realtors, they were at one point in their career a wandering generality. Just hear me on that. They were a realtor, and they had a sense of pride in the level of customer service that they could provide the public at large. But until they honed in on a specific specialization serving American veterans, their career never really blossomed. Do you know anyone like that? Do you know a realtor that's kind of wandering from expireds to buy owners to absentee owners, maybe thinking about farming, maybe they're putting in a lot of money into Google pay-per-click ads, maybe they've got this enormous CRM that has thousands of buyers in it, but they're not selling that much product. Maybe they're not selling that many houses. Do you know a realtor that sits a lot of open houses but doesn't close a lot of deals, or shows a lot of property but doesn't close a lot of transactions? The reason these 2 stories that I want to share with you today are so important to the VA opportunity is I've known both of these residential realtors for many, many years. And I watched their career take a hockey stick trajectory change when they made their focus a specialization. And what both of these folks decided to do was to specialize in serving America's most respected public servants, serving the American veterans. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the first one. He's the president and founder of a nonprofit organization called Hero Home Source. His name is Mike Zioli. Hey, Mike, take it away.
You know, I remember growing up, one of my favorite parts of being a kid was when we used to get together with family. And family for me was everything. I grew up from a big Italian family, rich in tradition, very happy to be part of that big family. All my aunts and uncles, we would get together all the time. Not just on the holidays. I mean, yeah, of course, Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day. We'd always get together. But sometimes it was just on the weekend because that's just what we did. Family, that belonging was just the most important thing to me. And I remember the moms and the aunts would get together and they'd do all the cooking, and the kids would play, and the dads and the uncles, all the men would watch football or baseball, whatever was happening that day. And then we'd all have our big meal. And being Italian, we threw down in the kitchen. We loved to get together and eat, and getting together, that relationship that we had, that pride of family, was so important to me. And when the meal was over and all the cleaning was done, we'd all kind of break off into our groups, and the kids would go out and play, and the moms and the aunts would get in the kitchen and talk about the kids in school, and all the men would get together, have a drink, and just talk about history. They'd talk about the kids, they'd talk about things that were going on at work, but most of the times what they talked about was their service in the military. We have a long line of proud members of the military. We've served all branches: Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, National Guard. Everyone served. It was part of what we did. It was just expected to serve your country proudly and then move on. Most of the men moved on to law enforcement. And I wanted to be a part of that tradition. I noticed that as the years went on, I spent less and less time going out playing with the kids and more time listening to the stories. And most of the time it was lighthearted razz, and the Marines would talk about the guys in the Navy, and the Army guys would talk about the guys in the Air Force. But sometimes those conversations turn serious, and they talk about the sacrifices that they made and people that they had lost. And there was such a rich sense of tradition there that I said, I want to be part of this. This is going to be me. So that was my plan. My plan was, when I was old enough, I was going to go into the Marine Corps. I was going to serve proudly and come out and go into law enforcement. And I remember the day I went for my physical. I went with my cousin Chris, and I went through the physical, and I breezed through everything. And they put me into a room on the side, and I met with one of the doctors, and he said, "Son, you're not eligible." And I said, "Well, why not?" And he said, "I can see the sutures in your eye." And I didn't even think about it. I had just had a corneal transplant like 2 months prior, and I have a degenerative corneal disorder called keratoconus, and it's a disqualifying factor with the Marine Corps. So I figured I'd kind of talk it out with him and say, well, maybe I'll do the Army or Air Force, Navy. And he said, well, unfortunately, son, any branch of the armed services, you're not eligible. Keratoconus is an immediate disqualifying factor, as well as law enforcement. And that day, my whole world came crumbling down around me because I didn't have a plan B. This is who I was going to be. I wanted to serve my country. So kind of changed my whole outlook on life. And you fast forward a bunch of years later, and I end up down here in sunny Florida, and I meet the woman who would one day become my wife, and she was in real estate. And she said, you should try it. It's a great business. And, I need somebody to help me. I'm getting real busy. And, we were already planning a wedding at that time, and I got into the real estate business. And part of being a realtor is being properly trained, because, good salespeople, they're not born, they're trained. So I went through the training. I paid the money. I went through the course that they offered at the company I was with at the time, and got involved with Floyd Wickman and Brian Buffini, and then later on Mike Ferry, and I had a one-on-one coach, because that's what you did. That's how you learned how to become a good realtor. And I did the prospecting. I got up early in the morning. I called expired listings, and I called physicals, and I knocked on doors, and I was a salesman, because that's what it took. You had to be, that was your job, that's what you did. You had to be selling all the time, and you had to be aggressive, and you had to go out and look for a sale every day. And it just didn't feel right to me. I didn't enjoy it. I felt like I was forcing people. I felt like I was pushing them. It didn't feel like me. And when we started to analyze my business, we noticed that the better portion of my transactions revolved around serving people, believe it or not, in the military. Probably 60% of the deals I did at that point in my career were geared towards veterans, people in the military, firefighters, police officers, but the better portion of them were people in the military. And I started to say to myself, there's a pattern going on here. Maybe we should do something about it. And I was able to get involved in this amazing company called Hero Home Source. Hero Home Source is a registered Florida 501c3 not-for-profit program whose primary focus is to give back to our nation's most deserving public servants. And at the top of that list for me is veterans, people in the military, that group that I always wanted to be a part of, that rich sense of pride and brotherhood where I wanted to serve my country. I felt that now I'd be able to serve the heroes. Maybe I couldn't serve my country in that fashion and be a member of the armed forces, but I could serve the heroes. So what we do is we'll educate our veterans, let them know some of the great things about being a homeowner and about financing and about VA loans and about how we can help them. And education is a real big part of it, but being in partnership with them is really where it all starts. Letting them know that we care so much and respect them for the services that they perform and for the sacrifices they make, not only them, but their families as well. Being in service to people is the best thing about being at Hero Home Source. Knocking on doors, working with for sale by owners, expireds, yes, it's always been a regular part of the real estate business, but visiting your local VFW post and meeting with the commander there and talking to him about him and his career, and maybe going to a 4th of July and meeting with some of the veterans, or going to a parade and letting them know you care and thanking them for their service, letting them know you're there to serve them. And if they want to buy a house or if they want to sell a house, knowing that not only are we going to give them the attention and treatment that they deserve, we're going to be able to give back to them because of our not-for-profit status. At Hero Home Source, I've given people $3,000, $4,000, sometimes up to $5,000, giving them back to them as a way of saying thank you so they could update some appliances or maybe use it towards their closing costs. Whatever the law allows, we're going to be able to do for them. So we're so proud of what we do here at Hero Home Source, and we need you. If you want to hear more about the Hero Home Source program and how we educate our heroes and how we help them with the process of home ownership and see that look on their face when you're able to give them back a gift at the end of the transaction that they normally would never have, if you want to be able to see the smile in their face and feel that sense of pride, that sense of belonging, that brotherhood that we feel at Hero Home Source when we're working with our nation's heroes, why don't you give me a call? I'm Michael Zioli, the National Benefits Director. You can check us out at www.herohomesource.com, or you can send me an email at herohelper316@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to talk to you about how you too can become an Employee Benefits Director and help to serve our nation's most deserving heroes. Thank you for your time.
Well, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate you sharing your journey and all the opportunities with Hero Direct Marketing. And understand, there's vendors all over the country that help realtors specialize in niches like this. I mean, there's a monster corporation called Homes for Heroes that literally, has tens of thousands of members, I think, across the country. But there's other niche specialty opportunities, and that's why I wanted you to meet Mike Zioli. I've known his journey, and I watched him kind of take that roller coaster ride as a residential real estate agent and then become a true specialist in working with the veterans. And I happened to be in his office not too long ago, and I got to watch him turn over a check for a rebate or an incentive to one of his veterans. And for a veteran to receive a no down payment loan with up to 6% closing cost help from the seller with no mortgage insurance, and then receive a check from Mike Zioli for another $3,800, which in the context of his nonprofit it's awe-inspiring, because that veteran deserves our appreciation. I go to Lowe's, I see the veteran discount counters, I see the offerings for veteran discounts at restaurants and car dealerships, and I see the veterans discounts at all the major Fortune 500 companies and retailers are really feeding this political movement. I just want to encourage you to do the same thing. So whether you give Mike a call or you do something on your own, remember, what do we say? Ask the question, are you an American veteran? Do you have access to your DD-214 so that I can run it by a mortgage specialist to see the extent of your mortgage benefits that are available to you as a veteran? Have you ever heard of another nonprofit out of Denver, Colorado, called Freedom Service Dogs? This is just awesome. I don't know if you got to hear about our pet-friendly real estate agent certification at AnnieMac, but it really dovetails into the Healing Heroes movement at AnnieMac Home Mortgage and Freedom Service Dogs, that nonprofit out of Denver. You're talking about a veteran of foreign war an injured veteran, a PTSD veteran who needs that emotional support or that service animal to help them get around. Annie Mac has made a nationwide commitment to freedom service animals and a huge movement within our organization, rallying our troops at Annie Mac Home Mortgage to get involved with Healing Heroes and the emotional support animals. It all dovetails perfectly to you going out and getting your pet-friendly real estate agent certification. If you don't know about it, go to pets.anniemacworks.com. That's pets.anniemacworks.com. Take advantage of it, and it'll be another niche specialty for you. So we're going to move on to another person that I've known for many, many years. This individual, again, had a fantastic run. Hundreds and hundreds of homes sold in the pre-construction real estate sector back in 2003 to 2007. She was on fire selling, I think it was $250,000 a year in commissions each year for many, many years. I think one year she sold several hundred homes in one calendar year through that pre-construction boom. And then after the crash, I watched her kind of wander through the residential real estate industry in a certain way, kind of looking for what was going to reignite her passion. Today, she's the chapter president for VARAP. I want to introduce you to someone who's near and dear to my heart because of her, not only her professionalism and expertise, but her renewed sense of passion in becoming the chapter president for VARAP. I asked her to put it in the terms of questions and answers for you so that you could kind of follow her journey. So we'll start out, and I'll just introduce Ms. Nada Reyes, the chapter president for Miami-Dade County for VARAP. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Nada Reyes, and I am the president of the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals in Broward County. VARAP was established in 2011, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So what do we stand for and what do we do? One of the things that we do is we provide sustainability, home ownership to our veteran and military community. We also teach about the VA loan awareness to our realtor community. We provide financial literacy as well and economic opportunities to our veterans. So you're probably wondering, what are some of the initiatives of VARAP? Well, one of the things that we do is we go out to the community to make a difference. We provide lunch and learns, opportunities to educate our realtors about the loan programs, on how they can increase their sales as realtors by using the VA loan. Now we know that VA loan has a lot of myths and facts, so we kind of put a panel together of experts for our realtors to understand that the VA loan is a great benefit to our veterans and that they should actually allow them to choose whether they want to use the VA loan or not. The other initiative that I love is what we call VARAP Cares. Now VARAP Cares can be anything from doing a Thanksgiving food drive. Last year we were able to provide 50 meals to 50 disabled veterans. So all of our board members grabbed these bags full of turkeys and all the fixings, and we were able to personally deliver these meals to them. And it was just like, the experience was just amazing. It was priceless. It was just, it was really a blessing. And, it's just, I can't even put it into words, the gratification that you get when you actually go visit a veteran and, in person and hear the story and get to connect with them. The Christmas drive is also a great way to help some of our veterans that may be in financial need, that for some reason they couldn't have a Christmas for their children. So we kind of get a lot of sponsors out there. We love our sponsors, we love our vendors, we love when you support us, we need your support. And we make these things happen as well. One of the things that I'm also very excited about, it's like our biggest thing of the year, is what we called our mortgage-free house giveaway. VARAP gets together with some of the large financial institutions, and they help us because they donate a home. And what we do as the VA Red board members, we go on demo day and we destroy the home. We just knock down all the walls and everything. We just leave it like in studs. And with the help of different vendors, we go in there and we make a home for someone in need. Now our next giveaway is going to be in October. Right now we haven't really chosen the family. So if you need information about the application process, you can contact me. I'm going to leave you my contact information here at the bottom of the screen in the next few minutes. But it's just, like I said, it's just an amazing opportunity to be part of this organization, making a huge difference. The other thing that I do really need to discuss with you is us as board members, we get to go to a policy conference. The policy conference every year is in June. We get to go to Capitol Hill, and we get to, speak to them about some of our needs, some of our concerns that we have in the veteran community. Last year alone, last year is when it happened. We've been advocating for this for the longest time, and we were able to implement that when someone is going to apply for a loan, on the application, now it will say, it is mandatory, and it will say, have you served? Are you a veteran? And if they check that box, then they need to discuss the VA loan program. This year alone, in June, we did go see Capitol Hill, and what's on the agenda for this year and next year is going to be the amendment of the legislation, which is the programs to educate and financially provide housing programs as well to the veterans right when they're about to go into the military and also on their exit as well. So we do know a lot of times that when some of our veteran members have come back, unfortunately, a lot of this information is not provided to them, and a lot of them that I know that I've spoken to didn't even know about the VA loan, and didn't even know how to use it, they didn't even know if they qualify for. So we're trying to make a big difference. Another initiative that we're very excited that we're fighting for is the HUD Informed Consumer Choice Disclosure Notice. Now, what this is going to be is that now when a veteran goes to apply for a loan for a home, they're going to be getting a comparison, okay? Right there, a comparison, really, really close, side by side, of what a VA loan is, an FHA, and of course, some of the conventional loans available to them as well. The other thing is, the third one is, my favorite, I really can't wait for this to happen, is to amend the Fair Housing Act and include the veterans as a protected class. So why did I join VA Rep? Well, I have a lot of stories, but one of them really stood out for me the most. I remember having an uncle, he's no longer with us, and he used to tell us the story all the time about his dad. Now, he never really got to know his dad because his dad passed during World War II. But there was a picture that was always in the middle of the living room of him, my uncle, 2 years old, on top of the coffin, on top of the flag, like hugging the coffin. And it just really hit me, one day, and we were talking in the living room, and that picture was always there. And he was telling me how he never really got to meet his dad because his dad had passed away in World War II. So, I was very young when he was telling me these stories, and I really didn't kind of grasp, onto what was really going on, to be honest with you. And I had other family members that have served as well. And as I got older, became a mother of 2 children, and all the stories that I've heard throughout the years, through Afghanistan, and just a lot of different things that we're going through right now, all the fighting, it just helped me appreciate what I have, where I'm from, where I live. And I said to myself, you know what, I'm too old to go to the military, and I have kids, I can't go, but I do want to make a difference. I want to make a difference here. And I used to always hear these horrific stories that when they would come back from war. You know, a lot of them didn't have family members. A lot of them lost their wives, you know, their kids, you know, or they came back and they had no one, you know, they had no one. They were alone, you know, and then dealing with all the issues, you know, when they come back, and no help, the support system wasn't here for them when they got back. And I would just look at that and I would just read the news or the newspaper, and I would just watch the news and I would see all these things happening constantly. And I said to myself, wow, you know, how could we could just stand here and not do anything about this? Like, these are our heroes. These are people that went out there to fight for us, for our freedom, for this country. He doesn't know me. That girl doesn't know me, but she's fighting for me. He's fighting for me and my family so that I could be safe here. And the least that I can do is give back. And I just didn't know how to give back. Like I said, I was like, I don't know what to do, you know? And so I started looking, you know, for something online. I wanted to start writing letters to them. So I started looking for companies where I could write letters to the troops, because I know that they were alone a lot of times, and a lot of times they didn't hear from their families or people that just abandoned them, to be honest with you. And I wanted to do something, and you know, I started doing a lot of research online and found a couple of things here and there, got involved. But then one day I received an email from the Miami Realtors Association that they were looking for leaders to start this new chapter called the VA Rep, which is the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals. And I went to that first meeting. This was probably a little bit over 4 years, and joined the board members right away. And I was a secretary, and from there moved on to a treasurer and director of education, and it just kept going anyways. And here I am today, and I've been with them for 4 years now. Very proud to be a part of this nonprofit organization where I've actually experienced the growth. I've seen the growth from a dream, a vision, to who we are today, and it's just grown. And not only that are we making a difference here locally, but we're making a huge difference on a national level as well. So who can join VA Rep? Well, anyone, to be honest with you. Our members are a diverse community of realtors, lenders, inspectors, homeowners insurance, anyone that wants to make a difference, anyone that wants to do community service, anyone that wants to just help, you know, and give back to our service members. So how do you join VA Rep? That's a great question. It is very simple. All you have to do is go to www.varep.net, that is Veterans Association Real Estate Professionals.net, and just go in there and look for a chapter that's near you. We're on a national level, okay? So just remember that, just pick the state, and we have chapters everywhere. Contact them. If you want to contact me, myself personally, I will have my number and my information at the bottom of the screen here. Also, if you want to become a board member, we need your help. Committee chair, we need your help. The more hands, the better, okay? We can do this together. Teamwork, it's so important to us. We need you in any capacity, whether you just want to be a member, whether you want to be a board, and if you wanted to open up your own chapter as well. If you feel like you have the passion, the vision, the determination, the desire to help our veterans and their family, contact us and open up a chapter, and we'll support you. So again, check us out at varep.net.
Thank you. I hope you could see why I asked Nada to contribute to today's VA conversation, and I hope that you saw some value in both what Mike Zioli had done to really turn his career around and grow as a professional with a sense of pride and a sense of specialization. I know that Nada has completely reinvented her career centered around the veterans opportunity and her work with VARAP. And I hope that those two examples serve as some insight into what it might feel like. And again, it doesn't matter if you decide to specialize in a particular geographic farm, like that friend that we met down at Gloucester-Salem Board of Realty. It doesn't matter if you wanted to specialize in a particular niche, like income property or some other area. But if you really look at the magnitude, the gravity of the opportunity to serve American veterans, if you look at the numbers in your county, in your local marketplace of veterans, and I think they're being underserved. I don't think there's a huge number of residential real estate professionals that are out there asking the question, hey, are you an American veteran? Do you have access to your DD-214 so I can run it by our mortgage specialist to find out what your benefits package actually includes? Can we take a look at your VA benefits to see if buying your house can be more fun with no down payment, with no mortgage insurance, with considerable down payment assistance or closing cost help from your seller, up to 6% for closing cost contribution? I don't know, maybe it's just a new way of having conversations with the public at large to maybe stand out from the crowd and to sound a little more empathetic and a little bit more professional in the arena. Remember, Annie Mac Home Mortgage is a direct endorsed VA lender. We've made a national commitment to the veterans of the United States. So the National Lunch and Learn League is our opportunity to extend an olive branch to you as real estate professionals, to reach out to you, share with you some new and different opportunities. Hopefully you'll raise your right eyebrow and take a look at the sector called VA. Hopefully you'll take a look at the empathy and service and specialization of serving American veterans. If you do, set an appointment with the mortgage professional in the room to discuss how you guys might be able to work together more closely to serve American veterans. Next month on the National Lunch and Learn League event, remember that's on the first Wednesday of every month, we're going to focus on open houses. What? We're going to focus on mega open houses. We're going to focus on this phenomenon of creating adrenaline, social media adrenaline, traffic adrenaline, food trucks, balloons, food, incredible things that are being done all over the country to drive adrenaline, momentum, excitement around open houses. The open house phenomenon is called Mega Open Houses. It's going to be hosted next month on the first Wednesday. We're going to dig into some of the best open house hosts in the country. How are they getting 50, 60, 70 buyers to show up at their open houses? How the heck are they leveraging Facebook and LinkedIn and Snapchat and Instagram and all these incredible social media resources to drive traffic to their open house? Join us next month for the National Lunch and Learn League on Mega Open Houses, first Wednesday of next month. And make sure you say thank you to the mortgage professional in that room. If you grabbed one thing out of today's class that helps you serve a veteran, this was definitely worth our time. Thanks again for being here. We'll see you next month on the National Lunch and Learn League.